What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone's doing well. I'm, getting through the day by day, as I told you guys. Um, but we're gonna keep it going over here. We got a ridiculous post here that needs to be exposed about God of War, Laufey. Now I know there's constant mixed opinions about this, but what we want is we want honest results. We don't want fake results. And then we're gonna get into what Cory Barlog says, how Kratos is not going away. And there's going to be so many stories, and how I want to tell people that every God of War has had Kratos, and there's nothing wrong with a spinoff. You're getting the God of War trilogy remake, and you're going to be getting another game with him, and probably more after that. And that people should realize that um, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Now, one thing here, though, that is the huge problem in this video is this guy making up something fake that is not real. Because we've checked the YouTube likes and dislikes, and God of War Laufey, he said, has 244k likes. So he grabbed the actual like aspect, but he photoshopped the image to have 114k dislikes. It's right here. But the thing is that this is not real. It's like, why would you do this? But then we got something funny to make you guys laugh. I think everybody could use a huge laugh right now. You ready? I need some type of laugh. Not easy, but hey, you know what I mean? That's kind of some funny stuff, isn't it? Let you guys see that one more time. And you kind of know where this comes from. I think we get the idea if we know how the political, drama can get in this world. But okay, so that's something good to enjoy. Let's go down. Freak says the anti-woke grifters have ruined the gaming Discord entirely. Now, like I said, there's genuine concern, and then there's being a fraud. Let me give you an example. This was the picture posted recently. 257k likes and 20k dislikes. 20k dislikes is still a concern for God of War, but at the end of the day, it's nowhere near what this guy tried to show. He was trying to show you something that is not really happening. It's not the true honest results on PlayStation's page. And we're not going to just stop here. Do you think this is the only post where this is happening yet? Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. That's pretty funny. Here we go again. Somebody going on their mobile. 268k and 21k. So here's my thing, guys. If you want to represent a political party, if you want to grift against something, or if you want to expose something, or if you want to make it seem like because these people are supporting a far left agenda, don't be a moron like this guy posting fake stuff. Because what does it make it seem like the ground that you're standing on? Do you think the people that are seeing that genuinely want to represent what they want to represent want you to be a part of that? No, they don't, because what you're doing is that you're showing that you have a insecurity, and it makes you look like a misogynist now to somebody that's going to be seeing you that way. So they're going to think that because you're trying to do this to paint a false narrative. They're going to see you as being insecure. They're going to see you as being feminine because you're not being a light on this subject. You're being a fraud. And to me, there's a problem with that person more than there's a problem with this. And this chick, actually, by the way, is Cory Barlog, if you guys didn't know too, became the head now of the God of War studio. So he's still overseeing a lot of things and is deeply involved. It's not like she's just running the show, but she's been underneath him for a while. So he's trained her. So I would say that I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I liked the gameplay that I've seen. And the stuff there were people saying about her face. Have you seen her in the other God of War game, Ragnarok? She looked like that. That's what she looked like. They actually make her look a little bit better than here. Of course, could they have glamorized her more like certain people want from a sexual appearance? It's like, yeah, you could have that. But I think the most important thing here is having a really good video game. But getting back to this fraud, this guy says, imagine editing a picture just to show you are a moron. Because like I said again, guys, look at this. He has it at 114k. Do you understand how huge this would be if this was actually true for Sony? This is like Concord damage. I don't want that happening to the God of War franchise. This grifting is really bad. This is what you call like just terrible grifting. Because it's like, why would you do this and not realize that after this, everybody's never going to look at you the same? This is a serious problem here, guys. He has it at 114K dislikes. Like it is going to be the most disliked Sony reveal of all time. That's like beating Concord and everything. Like I said, this is not cool, and this is not the way to do things. You literally are going to be looked at terribly. That's why this guy says, imagine editing a picture just to show you are a moron. If you go over here to the page, it says 259K. Like, that's why we gotta have multiple posts to show you how bad this is. 20K. This is still a 92% like ratio. The majority of the God of War community, when they felt that, when she was battling, and I think he was a Tibetan god. And then, if I'm not mistaken, what's her face is it not Beset or whatever from Egypt? And it's interesting seeing how we got a mix of Egyptian mythology being in here, because there was a lot of rumors about that being in there, and Tibetan as well. So interesting stuff here. I haven't looked deeply into the lore yet, but I had an idea that it was something like that, because it did look that way. We'll end up finding out more as we read more, because there's a lot still more to talk about in this video. But there we go, guys. This is a perfect example of here goes another post. Where the F did you get that dislike ratio out of your own ass? It's 268K like to 21K dislikes. But there we go again, by realizing that some people post on Twitter, it's really bad. You cannot trust it. And he should be community noted immediately. He needs to be community noted. When I go back up to this post, and when I click on it, where is the community note? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, enjoy that. It needs to happen. So now that we're done with that fraud, let's go back down and see what Shinobi says right here. Here's some more information on God of War. God of War, Laufey, is not a departure, but an expansion of the franchise. Yes. More Kratos in the future, says head of creative, Cory Barlog. He is now the head of the God of War. Or Santa Monica in general. He's the head guy there. So it's not like he stepped down as director and surrendered his power to her. He's now the head honcho. And he trained her to get the director position for years upon years. God of War, Laufey, still part of the larger tapestry of what we truly, really want to explore. And it's simultaneously aligned with 2018. And if you see certain scenes where Kratos is happening, on the other side of the universe where she's at, on the other side, and that death dimension, things are going on in a parallel sense. It's actually interesting stuff. So it's still part of the larger tapestry of what we truly, really want to explore. All of these different characters in there, he says. There's always going to be Kratos games. So remember, Kratos is still here. He's not going away. This is just another story to the side. So I think people are overblowing it up out of proportion to think that it's the end of God of War or something. Kratos is gone. It's like, no, but you mean you got 3 trilogy games coming. And you got more Kratos games. And we've been getting tons of them. But this is what people are used to, because when they think of God of War, not Goddess of War, they want to see Kratos. And I said, okay, I understand that logic. That's fine. Sony will always tell stories about Kratos. Laufey gives us some place to make fans surprised and see how things connect. Yeah, like I said, parallel connection, and that's his wife. It's not like she's something that got added in and came in and took and removed Kratos and he's gone forever. It's like, okay, I can understand that. That will be different. So for us, it's not a departure. It's more of an expansion. Kratos drives the franchise forward and we want to follow him. But there are so many interesting characters that we created along the way. And who's to say they can't go in their own world and create other characters out of that and give them games? This has been done. Nintendo does this with tons of characters in their franchises. Peach has her own game, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's not really so much a problem. It just depends on if we got the full details and does everybody really understand what's truly going on here. And I think that's the shakeup here, is that right there. So this guy says God of War is dead. Now it's a generic hack slash. Sometimes I had Hellblade 2 vibes watching the trailer. There's a lack of identity. At least there's remakes to save the day. Shinobi says, damn, I wish Hellblade 2 looked and played like that. True, Hellblade, dude, I'm sorry, but that's not really a good comparison. So, yeah, I'm not going to agree with you on that. So we get the idea of getting some answers here from the head of creative of Santa Monica himself, Cory Barlog, letting you know that Kratos is not going anywhere. And trust me, I wouldn't do that to him. So there goes an idea. Guys, there's some more stuff going on here. It gets very interesting. MBG says, I'm telling you, there is a major disconnect here. You're seeing ire from sections of the internet regarding Wolverine and God of War, Laufey. The reality is both of these games will do incredibly well. And the PS5 generation will close strong. Yeah, regardless of what happened, they are getting that 100 million. Yet you will still see the same cycle of raging disappointment as if these things aren't happening. We know about the mistakes. I've done this before earlier in my channel, before I started covering PlayStation content. It was being an equalizer on the Xbox side. As if people aren't buying these games and enjoying them. Just like you've seen all generation with the PS5. And remember, guys, I've been gaming since 1993. I've been playing PlayStation before Xbox even existed. Nintendo, too, and Sega. And going to the arcades. People type, they talk, yet the PS5 sells and people are buying and enjoying games. It's been like this the entire generation. True, with some disappointments. Not saying, it's been perfect and there aren't genuinely good reasons to be frustrated with Sony. True, I was definitely for a while. But the stuff I'm seeing in regards to Wolverine and God of War is nonsensical. Well, what he's saying is true because I just showed you that with that like-dislike ratio. Why can't we talk about genuine concerns without needing to make something look so fraudulent so that you can get people to feel a certain way that's not real? There's a problem with you and nobody else, and people who want to support that because it's kind of stupid. J-Bone says, PlayStation games have flopped so hard in the last 3 years that Sony stopped putting them on PC. You're a Sony F who can't accept this generation sucks. Okay, this guy's a moron, so I'm going to ignore him. 50 Plus Gamer says, MBG, you don't have to give these losers any oxygen. They're all losers who don't even game. We as a community must rebuke them by ignoring them. You can do that definitely with guys up there like that. And I show people I'm about to have 60 platinum, so I'm one away. I've beaten tons of PlayStation games, and I've put in thousands of hours into this generation. Not as much as I did in the PS4 generation, but that's because I was also playing more on Xbox this generation too, along with Nintendo and PC. Whereas in the PS4 generation, I played more PlayStation 4, way more than Xbox One, because they let me down big time. So Silicon says Laufey will underperform compared to God of War Ragnarok. I'd bet my house on it. I think it's going to be a Ghost of Yote situation. Still going to sell good and do well, but there's a possibility with that. We're going to see what happens, but I think the game is still going to be successful. Definitely if it turns out being like a 90 plus meta, forget about it. That's going to say everything. What are you going to do about that? It's like, no, dude, it's going to do that, right? So we saw that post there by MBG. And then MBG also says a combination of online grifters and miserable people who don't actually care at all about these games, but pretend to so they can justify their misery. It's Moki saying, I'm employed. Can anyone give the short version on why people are crying about this game? I think it looks stellar. Yeah, I think Wolverine looks amazing. Now, of course, you're getting your Sony magic that you've always wanted, that you saw in the PS4 generation that people were saying is missing. It is back now. And now people are still complaining about it. The movie cinematic rush, that's what Sony does. And that's what got PlayStation to be great. So I don't see why you would complain about that. So I understand MBG's post right here. And then, like I said, we get other things here. Cory Barlog confirms Kratos' story is far from over. There will always be God of War games starring Kratos throughout our entire history. That's how it's been, and we're very excited about what's to come. So, as I said, Kratos is not going anywhere. David Jaffe actually updated his post saying it wasn't because she was a female. He has different problems with the game. Just to let you guys know about that. So there we have it. We get more information here about God of War Laufey, what it is. It's an expansion of the universe in a parallel timeline. It's not the main line replacing Kratos. There's a big argument about it's the main line and it's not a spinoff. I'm like, dude, it is though in a way. That doesn't mean it's not being treated like a main game, but it's not like God of War 7 and God of War 8. No, it is an expansion of the franchise. You're expanding out and telling different stories to the side. But it's being treated as a AAA game, but it's not the main line of Kratos' story. It's a parallel expansion of what went on at the same time. And that's where we need to get our facts straight, because I kind of feel like people were trying to make it seem like my facts were out of line. I'm like, no. They were saying it for the while there was a spinoff. That's what we were being told. And now people are saying that it's replacing Kratos to be the main line. No, it's not. And he just made that clear right there. So, of course, it's going to be a AAA, game, but I don't know if it's going to have the same budget as the last two God of Wars. Sony's going to have to tell us that. Other than that, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Once again, thank you for all the support. I appreciate all the support that I've got on my community posts as well. It makes a difference. Help me out here, guys. Like I said, I can only do probably 2 videos a day at the moment till things get better. And then I'll keep you guys up to date about what is going on today. Today, I thought we were going to get some type of viewing, but they got canceled. So we're going to have to do some stuff tomorrow when it comes to funeral stuff and all that. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted, but not too much, right? Because we're trying to focus on this. But yeah. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on. Leave a comment down below. Later, guys. And just to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to this game because I trust Cory Barlog's vision, and he's never made a bad game. Later.